We're here back in the Fantasy Bar Monday night in MLB. I've got 6 of my favorite plays, including a couple bats for you on DraftKings under 3,500. A stud starting pitcher, I think, gets lost in the weeds today, and a beast of the night with a fantastic matchup. Who are we talking about? Belly up to the Fantasy Bar and find out. Welcome in, guys. Monday edition Beers Daily Fantasy 6-pack. Welcome into the Fantasy Bar. 6 of my favorite plays for you tonight in MLB. Before we get to that, as always, guys, click that thumbs up button on YouTube. That's the tip jar here in the Fantasy Bar. Helps us out tremendously. Also, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Lastly, go and check out scoresandodds.com/beer. Tons of great sports betting information, analytics, and of course, premium picks across all of the different sports that link in the description of the video. All right, tonight's slate, no real weather issues to worry about. We do have 2 different starting times here. FanDuel starting at 7:07 Eastern with a 5-game slate. DraftKings going to include those 6:10 starts. You get 7 games over there. All right, let's get into it here. We're going to start in the outfield with Andrew McCutchen of the Brewers. Now this one, DraftKings only. FanDuel does have a full slate here, a little bit smaller, not as many offerings. So we'll focus on DK here, 3,300 for this guy. Feels like a good price here. Now, we haven't seen a ton of power yet out of Andrew McCutchen, but does have hits in 11 of the first 15 games here. So getting on base, making things happen, we know that can lead to more power. Bigger numbers are coming here. Big numbers against lefties as well. For the last about year and a half, 323 ISO, 423 WOBA for him against left-handed pitching. Long, really a struggle with righties, 350 WOBA, 205 ISO, and that power mix we're looking for. 41% fly ball rate with a big 48% hard contact rate. Andrew McCutchen, solid value at just 3,300. All right, let's get you one more. Mainly DraftKings here at first base, but RHYS Hoskins of the Phillies. So again, FanDuel has that full slate you can play here, but we'll focus on DK, and this one looks like a good spot. I know Hoskins been struggling here, but a matchup against a lefty could be what unlocks him here. 309 ISO against lefties, 51% hard contact rate, so a lot of power against lefties, and matches up extremely well here with Freeland. Good against the fastball. He'll see that about a quarter of the time. Good against changeups, and the numbers here are eye-popping. 684 WOBA against changeups, 762 the ISO, and he'll see that about a quarter of the time. So gets any of those, odds are a home run could be coming here. Also good against the curve and the slider. So top 4 pitches for Freeland. RHYS Hoskins hits very, very well. Freeland, 204 ISO allowed, along with a 45% hard contact rate. I think Hoskins breaks out of his slump here tonight. Great matchup tonight with Kyle Freeland. All right, let's get you some plays now available on both sites on the main slate. We'll go to the outfield with CODY Bellinger of the Dodgers. So we know this lineup loaded up with studs. I mean, up and down that lineup, he's kind of slid down towards the bottom of that lineup, but gets forgotten about, even in stacks, and it's a great way to differentiate. A lot of people want to stack the Dodgers for good reason, but you include a guy like Bellinger, probably gets you a little bit different than most of the Dodgers stacks out there that are looking at the top 4 or 5 in this lineup. Now, may change based on yesterday. Had a massive game in that one yesterday, and the number's a little bit down against righties since 2021, but career long, this guy we know has put up big numbers against right-handed pitching. 369 WOBA, 272 ISO. Kelly struggles a little bit with lefties, 341 WOBA, but the big number there, 44% hard contact rate. Bellinger, a couple home runs in his career off of Kelly. I think he stays hot here. Get him in those lineups. Great prices on both sides. All right, I promised you a stud starting pitcher. I think maybe go overlooked tonight, and that's Shane Bieber of the Guardians. Almost said Indians there. It's going to take a while. I'm sure it is for a lot of us out there, but love this spot for Shane Bieber. We got Corbin Burns on these full slates here. Above him in pricing, we know. Just an absolute stud. Max Scherzer, most importantly, priced right below him at just 9,300. I think a lot of people going to gravitate towards Max Scherzer tonight with good reason there as well. But we get lower ownership here on a guy like Shane Bieber in a perceived tougher matchup. People see Ohtani, they see Trout, they don't want nothing to do with that. But we'll get into that here in a second. But I really like the pitch count here for Bieber. Has gone up in each and every start. So starting to get loosened, starting to get stretched out. 7 strikeouts in that last start. And we look at this Angels lineup. Every single bat that's projected to start tonight, 20% or higher strikeout rate against righties. 7 of those bats, 25% or higher strikeout rate. And this guy has been money on the road. The splits are actually eye-popping. At home, solid. On the road, very, very good here. Shane Bieber in an under-the-radar good spot here tonight against the LA Angels. All right, back to the bats here in the outfield. Going to spend up on Yordan Alvarez of the Astros. So another guy that's been struggling a little bit that will likely get lower ownership than we should here. Very good numbers against righties, as you'd expect. 277 ISO, 376 the WOBA. Hard contact rate approaching 50% here. And loves the primary pitch here of Mr. Dunning. Loves to throw that sinker here about half the time to lefties. We're talking an ISO over 400, a WOBA over 500. Dunning, 48% hard contact rate allowed to lefties. Yordan Alvarez gets it going here tonight. Great price over on FanDuel at just $3,500. All right, it's time to take a look at my favorite play for Monday night. Before we do that, we want to continue our Beast of the Night contest, free to play. All you got to do, get in the comment section right below the video and guess fantasy points for my highest scoring hitter on DraftKings tonight. The closest guess is going to win himself a free week of RotoGrinders Premium. Gives you a chance to check everything out, including the Plate IQ tool we are always referencing here with our pitch types and some of the statistics. All right, let's take a look. My favorite play for Monday night. You know him as the Beast of the Night. All right, Beast time back to the infield here at third base. We're rolling RAFAEL Devers of the Red Sox tonight, Beast of the Night. Now this guy, as you'd expect, leads the way against this team against righties. A lot of power, getting on base. ISO over 300, always a good thing to see. WOBA approaching 400, checking another box for us. Another extremely good pitching matchup here. We're talking from Berrios, a lot of fastballs, a lot of curveballs, a lot of sinkers. WOBA over 380 against each of those pitches. ISO over 300 against them, so a lot of power here as well. And Berrios, talented young pitcher, has not figured out lefties. 353 WOBA allowed, 234 ISO, and a big 46% hard contact rate. So he's a big name. Don't let that scare you away here. I think Devers has a monster game, including a home run, making him easily my favorite play on the board in tonight's Beast of the Night. All right, guys, that'll do it for Monday night in the Fantasy Bar. As always, any comments, questions, feedback, hit me up in that comment section right below the video. Also, want to know who is your favorite play? Who's your Beast of the Night? A hitter, a pitcher? Who's your favorite stack? Let's talk some baseball, and don't forget your guess for fantasy points on DraftKings for my highest scoring hitter of the 5 bats that I gave you here today. For RotoGrinders.com, I am Beer saying salut, guys. Best of luck here tonight. Thank you so much for watching. We'll catch you tomorrow.
Hey, thanks for checking out our videos. If you want more expert advice on DraftKings, FanDuel, or any other daily fantasy sports, make sure you check out the current videos playlist